Welcome to the Talking Sport Report podcast with Scotty and Ego. Unbelievable.
All right, here we are, episode 25 of the Talking Sport Report. It is 1 day removed from the NRL Grand Final of 2025. Scotty, we know we couldn't record last night because you were inebriated. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hung are you right now?
Not as bad as I was this morning. But this morning I could have slept. I just could have hibernated, and may have had a mid-afternoon siesta. So actually feeling pretty good, especially last night when I got home and I decided to sit up and watch the Premier League. So I done myself no favours. So the less we can talk about the game, because I must have had about 22 losing bets last night.
Yeah, that doesn't reap well for our bet at the end to see how Scotty's tips gone this week. I feel like we're in a bit of a deep hole there, but let's recap. I think it's a good day to recap because we've had 24 hours since the grand final. The Broncos defeated the Storm, ended a 19-year drought. Can you believe that? 26-22. Like, it was 100% there for the Storm to take. They've bombed this in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of questions to go through about this, and I think we should start at the top. Reece Walsh has gone to a completely new level.
He was a freak. That second half, to the point where Jono listens to this show, avid listener.
Yep.
He put a live bet on at halftime for Walsh for the Churchill, and the chick from Sportsbet that took the call actually laughed at him and asked if he was sure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Even after that try?
Did he score he scored in the first half, didn't he?
Well, that was that try just before half-time. That was like
30th minute.
He didn't deserve to get that try, and he was just that keen to do it. Just blew through like 8 defensive efforts from the Melbourne Storm and scored under the post. Like, that was next level.
Yeah,
that was next level. He deserved that try. It was one of the better grand final tries.
I was just having a look again. Like, I still can't believe Melbourne didn't put up a point in the second half.
It's crazy. And you think about them, they had a 9-day turnaround. So they seemed gassed. And even at the end there, I mean, Walsh again, new level. If Walsh doesn't tackle Pappenhausen, does Pappenhausen score out of the post in the last 10 seconds to win the game for Melbourne?
Definitely. But then there's so many things you can look back on. Pappenhausen throwing that ridiculous flick pass. I mean, had that landed, that's magic. That changes everything.
Yeah.
But what was it? Was it like the third tackle? Just hold the bastard, take the tackle, and spread it. Like, there was so much to take from that game. But yes, Walsh, that second half, he just completely changed that game. Yeah. Even losing Reynolds again, I think that, as bad as it is to say, I think that improves the Broncos because Walsh stepped up. He became the main man again.
I've noticed with Walsh, he gets these crazy eyes. You notice that too? And it's like, holy shit. It's like, it becomes like, I remember back in the day, LeBron James used to go into this playoff mode where he would shut down his social media accounts and he would go playoff mode as LeBron was heading into the basketball finals. And I've kind of got the feeling that Reece Walsh is going to start doing that too. Like, you got Reece Walsh in the regular season and then Reece Walsh who's possessed
finals. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like this new level of just superstardom. And the fact that the scary part is he is still super young. Wow.
It's so crazy. I mean, I must say, I didn't enjoy the pictures at the end of the game, them doing the rounds, he's walking around with inflatable toilet. I thought that was actually quite good. But mate, he's
really branded himself how well.
We've said this for the last. Oh, he has. He has. We've said this though for the last how many weeks? Walsh has stepped up when Walsh was needed. He got written off. He got called soft. Got called overrated. Clive Churchill medal, deservedly so.
100%. Next question is it all Madge or does Kevvie deserve some credit here?
Depends which way you look at it. because we talked about this as well last week, maybe the week before. God, Madge was up against it. Club legends come out, didn't want him anywhere near the club, especially coming from the New South Wales job into this. It's bad enough having the fans against you, but to have former players, to have legends of the club kind of putting the pressure on you early, I honestly think it's all Madge. The guy's he's a proven winner. And like you said, God, you'd love to have him back at the Blues. Just job share. Like, come on, it's what, 6 weeks of a year? Like, it's not hard.
I feel like the NRL was hopefully going to, relax that law, because I think we wanted Wayne Bennett to be the Australian Australian coach, because put a bit of pride back in that jersey, and we want Madge to double wield, or at least let Ricky Stewart do it. Heaven forbid. I mean, I love Laurie Daly, but I don't want to see him in the Blues Blues dressing shed next year. And I just feel like it is Madge. So you got to give Kevvie some credit, but I kind of feel like they had the same team. Madge just took them and poured a bunch of cement down their throats, made them men, got them out of this prima donna state they were clearly in the last couple of years. And I mean, at the end of the day, Kevvie did take into a grand final. They were heartbroken, but the next year they didn't even make the friggin' 8. And that to me is unbelievable. And that was never going to happen under Madge. And man, he's a good coach, and he's it's a shame we haven't got him for the Blues, but God, you could tell he was passionate in that dressing, like in the box when they showed the post game celebration, how much that meant to him. Yeah.
No, I hats off. I reckon it's all for Madge. Credit to Madge, straight up.
Yeah. All right. Brisbane is the sporting capital of Australia, and the reason why I say that is they are the AFL champions, they are the WNRL champions, and they are the NRL champions. What the hell? And they're also the Origin champions.
Yep. And just think, had they won that bloody Sheffield Shield last year, they'd have the domestic cricket as well. Bloody
Thank
hell,
God.
that is insane. It's bad enough come Origin time. It's relentless listening to Queenslanders. But now this just cements how good that state is going as we speak. Queensland in a whole, absolutely killing it. Mate, I'm telling you, they win Origin again next season. I'll give it away. I'm done. Done.
Well, where are they at with the A-League? Have they got any chance of pulling up the silver toilet seat anytime soon?
Actually, I'm pretty sure Brisbane's in a little bit of trouble. Maybe.
Thank God. Yeah. Thank God. We found a weakness in their friggin' arsenal. Unbelievable.
I think so. So there you go. They won't win that. So get that up, yous arseholes.
Yeah. And A-League. Oh, yeah. That's badminton, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most people are saying right now.
Ping pong.
They're on fire. Brisbane, it would be an amazing place to be right now off the back of basically 2 weekends of just like they'd be still partying right now. There's going to be zero listen to this podcast in general in Brisbane, but they're all out drunk. Everyone's drunk in Brisbane for at least the next 6 months.
Oh, you'd be surely you've got the week off. If you're a boss up there, give your staff the week off. Just let them write themselves off.
Yeah, that's actually really. That's a good point.
Do it.
Queensland, give them their credit. They drink really terrible 4X beer, which actually I secretly don't hate. 4X is actually a really, really good drop. And when I lived up there for a while, I've got to give it to them. It's a bloody good drop. But you'd have to be a pretty shit boss to make anyone come in. I know it's just been a long weekend, so they probably can't complain too much, but far out. 3 titles in the space of 2 weeks is friggin' amazing.
There'd be some sore heads, that's for sure.
All right, Jerome Hughes, if he did basically what Sam Burgess did outside of win it, but man, that was a performance and a half from him.
He was paying $2.10 at halftime for the Churchill. I thought it was on. Honestly, if Melbourne win that, he wins it.
Unbelievable.
There was nothing else that guy could do. Like he was everywhere. He played well, obviously not well enough. But
you can't blame that. You can't blame that loss on him, though.
No, definitely not.
there's a few others that didn't really stand up in that game or didn't go to the next level that they needed to, and he was not
100%.
one of them. He was a 10. There's just
he
was in everything, and he had a fractured friggin' arm.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
though?
that's the question.
Remember, did he? Scored a beautiful try. How many of the other three did he set up? He was. I feel for the guy because, like you said, there was no more that guy could do. You take Walsh out of the equation, and I think Hughes, man of the match, different story. Melbourne win it. I feel for the guy. I do.
Here's one that's not on my question list, but next year, does Storm just go, hey, Munster, off, maybe do something, maybe go lock. You put Hughes at 7, put Katoa at 6.
Yeah.
Did you see some of the balls he was throwing? It was like he was a halfback out there.
He was a freak as
Jesus.
well. I could not believe that. But I mean, just watching him, he's the kind of guy you can almost put anywhere. Is he a Blues or what? Where's he from?
Oh, knowing the fact that it's a Melbourne Storm club and he's in that Melbourne
Tongan.
Storm. Yeah, I was going to say that or Queensland. It's just he would have played for Queensland this year if he was. Yeah, so there's not much chance of that. What do you think about the Storm? Did they blow their chance now? Is their window now closing? They've lost 2 years in a row.
I don't think their window's closing, but other teams around them are going to continue to improve, and I think it's just going to become harder for them. Yeah. Only because I feel they weren't favourites last season, definite favourites this season.
Yeah.
They make it next year, I think it'll be a hell of a lot harder for them then than it was last night.
Yeah. It's a real tricky one, isn't it? Because they've got the players and they seem to continue to build the players, but they've got a lot of issues right now. You're going to have, there's the word that Pappenhausen is going to this rugby league, Rugby 360. So he's off contract at the end of the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the end of next year, I believe Munster's off contract. So he's going to go to Perth. They reckon potentially be the first ever $2 million man. If this happens, you've got to then rebuild again. Now, Jerome Hughes is that good. Katoa is that good.
Yeah.
But you've got to say, like, that's is that the point where Bellamy goes, I'm done? Like, Munster's gone, Pappenhausen's gone, I'm happy, I've had my time, I'm out? Maybe they got one season left in them.
Well, I don't know, because Hughes, I'm just having a look here. Coates is signed till the end of 2027. Hughes is signed till 2030.
Yep.
I don't know. This is tough, because, again, you know yourself, it doesn't matter how long you've had these players for. The salary cap's going to, at the end of the day, it can screw you. You know, they've got how many representatives, how many internationals. You know, there was a story midweek that Kamikamitha, he's on like $450 a year or something, and they've come out and offered him a new deal worth $150 a year. So, you know, are they cutting costs to maybe throw a big payday to keep Munster? After losing last night, do you think that they put all their eggs in one basket and try and keep Munster with Hughes until 2030?
Potentially, but I think that from what I could gather, the Storm were okay with Munster going. Like they were, as much as they don't want to lose him, I think they understand. And I think the Storm are smart enough to go, we don't need, we if you want to have a team full of superstars, you probably can't afford to pay someone $2 million, can you?
Exactly. And then that's the other thing as well. You get offered $2 million over in Perth as opposed to 1.2 in Melbourne.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
You stay.
800 grand.
You stay for 1.2. You don't go anywhere fucking near that Perth. That is going to, no offense to Perth, that is going to be a very tough sell. And then the other smoking gun out there is apparently all this money that people are going to get thrown at to go to play for PNG. I love the fact that they've got a side, but which rugby league player is going to want to go live over there?
Yeah. What are they talking about? Are they still talking about building the commune over there or what? Just to keep the players, you know, close, safe, family safe. Things like that.
Again, is that the way you want to live? Would you rather live in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, even North Queensland, Newcastle, or
New Zealand?
live in a compound You know what I mean? Like it's bloody tough.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Adam Reynolds should take that as a good sign and retire.
Yeah, 100%. He's getting old. His body's breaking down.
Yeah.
You know yourself. Yeah, we're far from professional athletes, but you know yourself. You injure yourself once, you're gonna keep doing it. Doesn't matter how you've done it. Doesn't matter if you got out of bed the wrong way and you pulled your hammy. I don't know, it doesn't matter if you've sneezed wrong and you've thrown your back out. You do it once, you're gonna do it again. Take it, and I mean, what better way to go out? Like,
well, that's it. But then again, he might think to himself, this side is only on the way up, and I'm still. If I could get through another season, he's had a bad luck year, and he seems to. This is the problem when you get older, right? You start to do injuries, but they could. I mean, there's no reason why the Broncos can't go on a bit of a run now. I think. Oh, definitely, they're a shot, right?
Definitely, but then that's the other thing. Who are they going to put in that position? Who would replace him? You know,
well, they're stacked, aren't they? They got Hunt, they got Mam,
same thing.
You know, Walters,
Hunt's on the way out. He's getting old. Walters didn't he do his ACL? That's not an come back. When's Reynolds' contract end?
I think he just re-signed, so it was pretty much a 2-year deal. I think so. He'll be definitely at least next season, or it might be a 1-year deal. He's definitely around next season.
End of next season.
Yeah, so he's still around for 1 more year. And just sometimes you see that and you go, "What a fairy tale to go out as a winning player."
Yeah.
But the thing of the reason why I think he probably should look at it is, God, it's just like there's not much left. Like he's literally the bionicle man at this point. Like, does he have a muscle left that hasn't been snapped at some point?
That hasn't strained, pulled.
Jesus. Get that's a really tough one. But
yeah,
we've got to probably now talk about the elephant in the room. Sorry again to bring the elephant up.
It's fine. Whatever, I'm used to it.
The refereeing this weekend was shocking.
And do you know the worst part? We praised him.
I know.
Well, did we put the mocker on him, or is this just now a case of like the big head syndrome? You know, I'm the big shit now. I've got the grand final. This is me. You know, he probably almost guaranteed thinks that he's got Origin next year lined up as well.
You knew it was bad, though, at the start because there were 2 very, very, very soft penalties to Brisbane. Even Brisbane fans will agree with that. And then watching as a neutral was great because you could just really watch the game as a neutral, but that was soft penalties. And then the Melbourne penalties were even softer.
That was ridiculous.
And it went to like, 3 or 4 tries out of the back of penalties. The few that Melbourne scored were all off the back of 6 agains and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was just a weird little moment. And I remember watching the NRLW Grand Final, and the reffing there was pretty bad. But the other interesting part about this is, and I wonder if there's a little bit of, did he do it on purpose? But what do you call it was in the box? He was the third umpire. He was the video ref.
Klein.
Wow. Yeah. So was he in his ear? That's a penalty there, mate. That's a penalty there. Just to really make sure he's got the next grand final. Throw a few extras in there. Nah, don't send him off. It's actually fine. Don't send Walsh off. He's just shoulder charged and hit someone in the head, but don't send him off.
That's you could be right. He stitched him up here massively.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look at some of these minutes as well. Like some of the minutes for some of these players. That game overall as a neutral, besides the officiating, it was an absolute ripper of a game.
It was.
It was insane.
And I guess you can look at it through the lens of at least we had, you know, all in all, this has been probably one of the best final series I can remember.
Yeah.
Like there have been like normally the first week you might get one game and then the second week you get a game or two. But for every single week of those finals, we were saying if that was the grand final, we wouldn't be upset. And at least the scary part was you get to the grand final and it's shit and you go, well, damn it, we had our grand finals the week before. Yep. That game was fantastic. And
it was.
It's an instant classic. You could watch that game back tomorrow. It's an instant classic.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. 100%. It was fantastic. Hopefully, we get another one that good next year. But that's 12 months away, unfortunately.
It's a long way away.
I know.
Does the finals structure need to change, or is it great the way it is our next question.
I think, personally, I think it works well how it is for the simple fact that it rewards the better teams against those that, say, have limped in. Not so much
Yes.
limped in, but, you know, like, for example, the top 8 wasn't finalised until the last round, which is great. But if you're limping in, you shouldn't have the comfort or the, I guess, in the back of the mind, thoughts of, well, if we get beat, it's okay because there's another way for us to get another shot here. I think it works well. To restructure it, I think it's just too much of a stuff around. I'm saying that like you and I are tasked with it. We're not. But it's a hell of a stuff around.
Yeah.
For something that currently works. Like I said, you've got the top 4. You get done in your first week, you get a second chance. You're in the bottom 4. It's not so much punishment, but you don't have the luxury of being one of the better 4 sides.
And I guess the difference is in years previous, they got rid of the old structure, which used to be 1v8, 2v7 as the 2 ones. And obviously, if the first and second teams win that week, they still get the week off.
Yeah.
But what you were having is you're having these absolute 40-0 drubbings of the best side versus the side that just snuck in. Now, this time around, it'd be a lot different because you would have had, you know, Canberra playing the Roosters and you would have had, well, who was second? The Storm playing the Panthers. So again, it's a weird year this year.
Exactly.
But having said that, you still think that 1v4, 2v3 is going to show up at least 2 fantastic matches.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing would be, do you go like a completely different route altogether, like almost like a Super Bowl kind of sort of scenario? But
you know what? Scrap it all together. Bring back the top 5, like in the old ARL days. Team that comes first gets a week off, and then 2 can play 5, 3 can play 4, and we'll move on from there. Done.
I'm not confused.
Nah,
I'm not confused by that.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Let's lock that in. So I think it's probably still the best way. I think it's going to make for great viewing as the years to come. But it just showcases, I guess, the reason why we asked the question is, and this is the reason for it, right? If you're in that top 4 spot, and you get the week off, it makes it very hard for you not to make the grand final. Like, you have got so many more things in your favor. Back end of the year, long season, there's a lot of rounds. Injuries take their toll. The end of the season's a mad rush for those last spots, so you're playing hard. You generally get that week off. It makes a huge difference in your finals. And both sides that had the week off make the grand final. Yet again, that top 4 make the grand final. But I guess the key to it is, if you get rid of the week off, you're almost rewarding teams to go, I don't need to try hard through the year, and I can limp in at 7th or 8th and save my energy instead of having to get that top 4 spot by playing consistently all year. And that's what I hate about the NBA and some of these big seasons like the basketball in America. Sides can stuff around, rest all their players, do all sorts of shit because they know that once they get to the finals, it's just a best of 7 series against every side. And they know if they limp in at 8th, they can still win. Whereas the NRL rewards you for getting to the top. So I think that's a positive.
Being consistent. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. So all in all, keep it how it is.
Yeah, keep it how it is. All right, so what have you loved about this season's season? Or this year's season?
I guess how unpredictable it was. To the point where after 6 weeks, you know, like everyone was cheering because we weren't going to see Penrith in the finals. Yeah, they were sitting last. They were looking shit. You know, that was it. They'd been found out. It was over for them. I guess also seeing Canberra being the form team across the year, and yeah, they've got good players, but they don't have standout superstars. You know, like your Munsters, your Hughes, your Walsh. You know. I think, I guess overall the unpredictability of the season was actually exciting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Basically, there was a point there where you had no friggin' idea what you were going to look at result-wise this weekend. It made tips so difficult. And I think, as a fan of the game, fantastic. Absolute brilliant.
Yeah. This was a great season to showcase the new movement of great players coming through and the new sides. That's definitely one of the things that stood out to me, what I loved.
Yep.
All of a sudden, the Storm, even though they made the grand final, the Panthers' stranglehold on this league showed some cracks, and the likes of the Raiders and the Bulldogs and the Broncos, and even down to a new re-looked Roosters, the Eels showing signs. Even the Dolphins, again, just narrowly missing out on the 8. Even the Tigers at the back end of the year really showed some ticker.
Yep.
The Newcastle they didn't show any ticker. They were shit. But apart from that, like the comp is in a really good space in terms of like there's just incredible depth and all these new superstars starting to come through that. I mean, I was saying new superstars, and you're talking about guys like Cleary who are literally just about to hit their prime now. Yep. So they're still technically superstars, but it's a quite an amazing thing. But I guess the next part of this question that we always have to go through, the yin and the yang. Mm-hmm. What did you hate the most? Because there's a couple of things that grinded my gears from the top. I hate why the trainers need to be on the field every 3 seconds. Yeah. They have got to fix that. That has been such a pain in the ass. We saw a trainer jump in front of a ball. They should really be pulled back because it's clearly gotten to the point where they're game planning for it and they're going out there as a second coach and they're telling things to teams. And unfortunately for the Panthers, it seems to all land on them. But,
it does.
It does. That's one of the definite things. The other thing I fucking hate this year is the bye. Do they get 2 points? Do they not get 2 points? Like the table's all stuffed up. If you're going to keep a bye, that's fine. You just don't get any points for it. Get rid of the points.
Yeah, exactly right.
Make it easy for everyone. Like,
I agree.
Oh, someone's on 26 points. Oh, they must be leading. Oh, no, they've had 2 byes. The other side hasn't had any. It's like, oh my God, just get rid of this. It's ridiculous.
No, I agree. You got bloody 30 points there, but you've only won, 13 games with no draws. But hang on, that's 26 points. But like you said, no, it's okay though because we had representative football. 18 teams had a bye, mate. Exactly. It's just ridiculous. I agree with that. Actually, that's a very good point. What I didn't like, and we've harped on about it for weeks. Seriously, the officiating is still shit.
Yeah,
it is still shit. And I'm assuming these guys get paid good money and girls get paid good money. But they're just absolute woeful.
There's no consistency, is there?
No, none whatsoever. And then the other thing I didn't like, but this is just a common theme for me, is, and for you as well, not seeing your team in the finals. But you get used to it. It starts to become a dull ache more than a pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but overall, fantastic season as a neutral. As a Manly fan, shit house, and we're still got Seabold there. So
that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that. Oh, it could be worse, mate. You could be like me, a Newcastle Knights fan, a lot worse. Let's have a look at the top sides because this is. I know it's a long way out. But just looking at this from a lens of where the end of 2026 lands. Mm-hmm. Who do you have in your top 4 for next year? When the season plays out, keeping in mind, just go off the fact that everyone stays healthy and there's no issues with that. If everyone was to be 100% of health, which obviously is never going to happen, but still, what sides are you ranking 1 through to 4? And go in order of 1 through 4.
In order? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think with a strong off season, and kind of pulling their heads out of their arse and deciding who they want in their halves and maybe keeping it for the entire season. I'm going to back the Dogs to finish first. Going to back the Dogs to finish first. Going to back Melbourne to finish second. I'm going to back Brisbane for third, and I'm going to... Are you ready for this one? This one is going to 100%... I'm backing Parramatta for fourth.
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
That's
100%. Fit Moses.
Mitch Moses' dick just hit the table. Is that hard?
Do you know the worst part? It hurt to say that. Yeah. And I guarantee Jimmy's just kind of rewound this just to listen to that again.
Jimmy is one of our number 1 fans. If you just joining the pod, he staunch Parramatta supporter. All right, so this is gonna piss everybody off.
What do you got?
First, I reckon the Panthers bounce back.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think they have a year like last year. I think they're too good. They're too young still, and they're just such a good team. And they showed at the back end of that year, they just ran out of gas, but, they were going to beat anyone when they wanted to if they had the right team on the field. So I'm going to chuck the Panthers in at 1. Yep. Whether they finish first will be the other thing, whether they need to finish first, but I think they're going to finish top 4. So I'm just going to throw them at first for the sake of it.
Yep.
I've got to put the Broncos at second, just purely based on the fact they won the title. Mm-hmm. They have arguably the best player currently floating around. If you can continue that form, that's just remarkable. And Payne Haas is just the behemoth. He is just a behemoth. So you got to respect that. I'm very interested. I think the Raiders are going to be good. And I worry about losing Fogarty, though.
Oh, yeah.
I know they're going to have a good side, but whether that means they have the same kind of bang, that I still think the Raiders finish in the 8, whether they're just at the 4th position or just out, maybe. Yep. But I'd have to then, you got to sort of say, with the current form, you got to say Storm. So I'm going to go Panthers, Broncos, Storm, and making out the 4th spot, I'm going to go the Doggies. But it's bloody close to being Parramatta as well, because I think they are going. I would not be surprised if Parramatta do what the Raiders did this year and just go hard all year, and whether they fizzle out in the finals, which wouldn't be very much on point for them. But they could win the comp in terms of at least the minor premiership if they were to play as good as they could all year without injury.
Oh, definitely. Tell you what, and this, I'm cutting you off because I've just read this. You and I have not discussed this. This is not in our show at all. It's not in our notes. But are you aware Payne Haas is having a sit-down with Rugby 360 bosses?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
That's gutting. Not just because he's a good player, but because he's the Blues' best player by a long way.
Exactly.
That would be. But he could. I mean, he could make a lot of money over there doing what he'd be one of those ones that'd be on the 3 to 4 million, right? Maybe even more.
Oh,
that's
it'd be
crazy.
Ridiculous. You'd give him a blank check and just tell him just fill it out yourself. So,
geez, that sucks if that happens.
Well, but the
rumor is, yeah. Hey, Payne, you've spelt your name in crayon and you've spelled it with a 6. Yeah. I'm just giving that money up front. Do you think that the rumors are there was like 20 current NRL players that are looking at going to this Rugby 360? And, they've got the likes of Pappenhausen and those kind of players that are going around. Zach Lomax. Yep. I feel like he puts his hand up for whatever happens. Are you unhappy at your club? Yeah, I'll put my hand up. Yep. Do you want to be a halfback? Yeah, I'll put my hand up. It's just a weird character, very weird character. But it's interesting that Payne Haas. I mean, if we're saying 20 names, I've only heard like 5 or 6. So there's a whole bunch out there that haven't been named yet. And Payne Haas hurts. That hurts.
Oh, definitely. And like you said, you and I talked about last week, the amount of money, like Jai Gray's not on a lot of money at South, but there's talks that he's been offered $950,000 by Rugby 360. Yeah, surely that's over double what he's on now. So I think it's dangerous for rugby league when you can pay someone that's say on 350 to 400 here, when you can almost triple their salary.
Yeah, Lomax was going to go over in 5 times his salary. It's going to be like something like $3 or $4 million for his salary. Like that's just unbelievable.
And that's the thing. Like it's like a draft, and you can end up living in one of these capitals like London or it's absolutely insane. So basically, this is a point now where NRL may have to look at this and go, well, how do we compete when we've got a salary cap the way we do?
Well, that's the hard part, because you can't really lift the salary cap.
Exactly.
Then you reward sides like Brisbane who have just this money to burn.
Exactly.
But I guess the NRL's answer is, hey, don't worry, guys, because we've got plenty of money if you want to go to Perth or PNG. No, thanks. I'll take London, or I'll take, Paris, or I'll take, the middle of somewhere nice, and I'll take an extra couple of million.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be, well, I guess we'll be able to watch this space over the coming weeks because the Australian matches are going to be very interesting because they're going to highlight some of our best players and we'll get more light about what's happening with Rugby 360 as it continues to grow because it looks like it's definitely going to go ahead.
Yep.
A good one to sort of go over quickly before we move into Comment Club and your bet of the week. But what two sides do you think miss the 8? And the reason why I say 2 is you kind of look at the top. You kind of go Raiders, Storm, Bulldogs, Broncos, Sharks, Panthers. I mean, that's like already 7.
Warriors and the Sharks.
Counts. 6.
Warriors and the Sharks. Done. There you go. Done. That's
you
it.
reckon they're out?
100%.
They miss.
And I think it's Para and, do you know what? Dolphins. I think Dolphins are going to take their spot.
Wow.
Yep. I'd love to say Manly, but come on.
It's such a stacked 8, isn't it? Even saying the word Sharks in that sentence. Yep. They're so good throughout the year. And they're normally fairly consistent. And they had a great, like the 15 wins this year. Like, and 9th spot was 12.
Yeah.
And you go down to the Eels on 10 and you go, holy shit. If, say, the Eels and the Sea Eagles were to come good, even the West Tigers, good back end of year form, even the Rabbitohs, even the Dragons.
Yep.
Like, what if 2 of these sides just goes, 6 or 7 wins or even 5 wins better than they were this year? Then they are 100% in that 8. And you have to squeeze 2 out.
Yep. Honestly, I think the Warriors are just too inconsistent. And we talked about this weeks ago. They got their participation award. I don't know. I just feel like if there's any one team you can almost guarantee is going to miss the finals, I think it's going to be them.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Wasn't the rumor as well going around that Cherry Evans is now going to sign for the Sharks?
Oh, mate, I'm pretty sure that guys having lunch with every club just to get a free feed. And I do the same too. Look at me. I like a good feed.
Love that. Last question to get to. The WNRL final was a cracking game.
Yep.
What a game.
Massive. Fantastic. That was what Roosters' first loss of the season.
First loss in like 400 and something days.
And it came in the grand final.
And if you look at the way that the year went, there was a crazy head clash. If that Roosters player doesn't have multiple fractures in her eye, I'd be very, very surprised.
That was crazy.
But the weird thing is the Broncos and the Roosters, easily the best 2 sides going through the season.
Yep.
And there's rumors floating around that the Newcastle Knights halfback, who's one of the better players in the game, is potentially linked to signing with the Broncos.
Yep.
And if that was to be the case, just pen in the Roosters and the Broncos for the next 5 years, and there's just no way any other side can compete with that. But what a game where you've got the Broncos race out to a crazy lead into halftime. The Roosters come out and show you why they're the best, but then the Broncos just pull it out at the end with a great try with like 3 minutes to go to seal the match. Like it was a cracking game and a great way, I guess, to set up the grand final.
Absolutely. 100%. My question is there talks now of expanding this or
have to be, right?
There's got to be. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I'm naive when it comes to it because, nights are there, so it'd be easy to sit down and have a beer and watch them. Manly's not in the comp, so I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, they can't even get their friggin' men's side right. How do you think they're going to go in and build a women's team from scratch?
And look, this year, the newer teams that did come through for the women, I think the Sharks were a newer team, weren't they, this year? But they've had they've got the Eels. They're a really good side as well in terms of they come out. I think the Raiders was another one that joined recently, or if not this year, then the previous year. So it is getting bigger, and you obviously hope that eventually, and it's obviously going to happen, right, where every NRL club has a WNRL club. I just really hope that they start to actually promote it. Like, I think the biggest thing for WNRL is getting that promotion, and I think they need to start linking it in, and I'm guessing they're going to have this conversation around the TV deals. Yeah. But what I'm really hoping that as the sides start to fill out, imagine how great it would be if before every NRL game, you had the corresponding WNRL game before it.
Fantastic. That'd be
And
brilliant.
so you think about your Friday night, rather than having two games, whether you just have the WNRL into the NRL of the same game at the same stadium, pack out, like, one of the things the NRL sucks at is filling a crowd, unless, of course, you're going to those small stadiums that do fill out for big games.
Yep.
But could you imagine all of a sudden if you have, like, you know, Broncos Roosters, all right, are playing a Friday night or a Saturday afternoon game, and you also have the WNRL game of that same clash, how would you not sell that stadium out?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things they do. You're right. They need to sit down and they actually need to put plan into action and get shit right, because that's a perfect example of the best way to market the women's game.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, because, like, you know yourself, when was the last time you went to a live NRL game?
It's been a while now.
Yeah.
It's better to watch on TV, right?
Yes, true. So I went to a couple this season, and I'm almost certain there was nothing on before kickoff in the first grade game. There's nothing to do except pay for overpriced shit alcohol, and I'll be honest, it was woeful. And if the crowd's big enough, you can't even get on Sportsbet and put your bets on, or, you know, send a message, because signal shot
which just saves you money. So you need more crowd there to Scotty losing his fucking money. Think back to the old days, Scotty. The best
Jersey
thing about the NRL, you'd have the three games, right?
Yep.
Jersey flag into reserve grade, when the reserve grade was a good comp.
Yep.
You've got this incredible comp that's getting better. And the reason why I say, like, go back a few years ago, the women's game was not at the standard it needed to be at.
Mm-hmm.
But now watching it, the hits are getting so, like, there were some shots. There were some big shots in that grand final. I know it's the best versus the best, but it was a good indicator. The Roosters goal kicker put two over the black dot from the sideline. Incredible kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the kicking is getting better. The fifth tackle kicking is getting better. The game is getting better.
Yep.
Now is the time to go, all right, hopefully in the coming years as they build it up, even if they don't build it up to this point, try and maybe match up some of the big games. I don't think the women would care if it was like, you know, the Sharks versus the Roosters, and they were playing before the game Broncos v Gold Coast Titans.
Exactly.
At Suncorp. I think both teams would be happy to fly up to Queensland and play in front of 80,000 as opposed to playing on a shitty field on a Saturday afternoon.
Exactly.
Would you not agree with that?
I agree. 100%. That's right. Yeah, seriously, it's the time now. It's a perfect opportunity. Back the women's game and put plans in motion. Get shit done. That's a fantastic idea. If you could draft an email and send it off to Volandis, I reckon we're going to get shit happening.
Yep. I'll get ChatGPT onto it right now. I would get you to do it, Scotty, but the only problem with you doing it is all of your burner accounts have got way too much of bad history of you abusing people.
Exactly.
So you probably you're probably already blocked by Mr. Volandis. Fair enough too. Let's quickly go over our super coach. So what happens is we picked our 5-person team for the grand final. Let's review how we went. We picked a front rower, we picked a second rower, we picked 2 from the spine, and we picked a back. How did we go, Scotty? Who won the match?
You have bounced back extremely well.
Right, that's what I like to hear.
You have almost won it with 2 players alone. So you had Walsh, Haas, Katoa, Coates, and Grant. So Walsh and Katoa has almost won this for you single-handedly. I had underperforming Munster. I had Hughes, Utukamanu, Warbrick, and Carrigan. You have ended up with 394 points. I finished on 321.
You got that wrong.
But you also have to factor in, because Walsh won the Churchill, he was in your team, you get the additional 50 points. Not that you need them.
That's close though, because I remember last week I think you were on 400 and I was on like 200. So
you could give me those Churchill points and I still wouldn't win.
That was good.
Jesus
I liked it.
Christ. That was fun.
That was fun. We might do more of that next year.
Good call.
Quickly touching on before we go to comment club, the Newcastle Jets have picked up a win and have won the Australia Cup.
Yeah, a bit of silverware.
A weird one, because they weren't playing any of the other A-League teams.
No. So they played against Heidelberg United down in Melbourne. But take nothing away from Heidelberg. They played 3 A-League teams on the way to the final and did not concede a single goal against them.
Smash them all.
Heidelberg went up 1-0 in the 4th minute, and it actually took extra time for the Jets to win 3-1. So, but at the end of the day, Jets got the win. First trophy in, 18 years, maybe?
Yeah. It's probably since the A-League group. Yeah, those A-League times back in the day.
And now they're off to the Champions League. Well, Asian Champions League 2, but it comes with more money. So good on the club. Good on Mark.
Now, question for you with the Heidelberg side.
Yep.
Do they now all just automatically get signed to the A-League and teams just go after them? Because they are obviously all great players.
There was some standout players. I'm pretty sure their striker who had a good cup, he's old man is the Jet CEO. Yeah. So I had a mate message me during the game. He's like, what do you reckon? Give it a week and old mate will sign his son. And I tell you, it wouldn't be a bad signing. So, mate, good on Heidelberg. There was one point there. I think it was still 1-1. I messaged a buddy and said, I can tell you now, I can't see the Jets winning this. The Jets scored to make it 2-1 30 seconds later. And then at 2-1, I thought Heidelberg might equalise. So I messaged me, mate, and I'm like, I tell you what, penalties right now would be great. The Jets scored 40 seconds later and made it 3-1. So, yeah.
Classic Scooters.
Fantastic. It was actually good to watch Heidelberg get amongst it. So they done really well. They were unfortunate. And, first bit of silverware for the Jets in a very long time.
It's time for Comment Club. Normally I ignore all the comments, and I get a lot of them. I've got to get paid for this crap.
Thank you, Donald. It is time for the Comment Club, and this is a weird one this week, Scotty. We've got to go back over some old ground. If you did get our midweek podcast last week, or you went to find it and you just went, what the hell happened?
Yep.
We had a special guest on, Shannon Nevin, absolute legend.
Yep.
Had a bit of a problem with his iPhone recording, and because we've never actually physically spoken to him before, Scotty. So we were sitting there going, oh yeah, he's just got a little bit of a lisp, and he was so offended that he sounded like Terry Hill, R.I.P. That he goes, oh my god, I've got to get this. So we said, look, we're going to take it down, and we'll do another one down the track. So I feel like we've got to go over some format, some of the emails we did in that podcast, because we did some great shout outs. Did a great shout out to Chad Stace, one of our great long-time listeners of the pod. He reckons Scotty needs to get a haircut, which is always a good one. We also got a fantastic message from Geordie Eckford, long-time listener. Basically went through this full-on email for us, which was amazing, sort of saying that he found us through a suggestion in Spotify. He's known Scotty for like 5 years, since you were 5 years old, Newcastle Jets supporter. He goes for Arsenal. He's also a Vancouver Whitecap supporter as well. Loves, James Graham, and he's now loving this podcast. So we love the fact we got you on board, Geordie. He also jumped on and gave us a 5-star rating on Spotify, which I can't hate. That is fantastic. We also had Jimmy. Jimmy gave us a dick pic, so we don't need to go any further than that.
Thank you.
And you had one too, right?
I had my shout out for family, actually, for my cousin Isaac. Lives and breathes football, rugby league. So to have him listen actually means quite a lot. So thank you, legend. And hopefully you're still enjoying the show, especially with the NRL season finishing. There'll be plenty more. So stick with us.
100%.
Stick with us.
We got a great shout out too from Mr. Smith on our Instagram, asking for some random stories about infamous Bucks picks with you naked, Scotty, which we won't go into right now. But which I did see over the weekend because it was your birthday last week. Happy birthday again. That randomly comes out, but Taylor, legend of the pod, so thank you for that. We also got Shane Nevin, not Shannon Nevin. Shane Nevin, who's competing for our number one fan on the pod. He wrote a great message and basically, he was basically saying that he's loving it. We're hitting a good groove, which I'm sure. Are you sure you're listening to the right podcast, Nev? I'm not sure, but he loved the tongue fucked. And if you remember it, we were talking about the Josh Tongue from England, who's a smoky for the Ashes for England. You had some great headlines around that, but he's trying to take the number one fan off Jimmy.
That's great.
And now finally, I've got a long email from one of our long-term listeners as well, which I've got to read out because it's a cracking one.
Yes.
So Luke Gilchrist, legend of a bloke, Maitland man, loves his cricket, loves his footy. He writes, "G'day boys, loving the new format, and I don't have a cracking night out story." And I said, "Don't I have a cracking night out story?" Pun intended for you. You'll find out.
Love this.
Gathered the lads together for my Buck show, and we had planned a pub golf tour starting down at Warners Bay, which is in Newcastle, making our way through some old stomping grounds of the RG Hotel, Edgy Hotel, Holmesville Hotel, the museum, the Westie, and then all the way back to the commercial at Morpeth, cracking pub. Wow. So that's a decent effort. That is a decent effort in itself. Simple game along the way. Every sip of your first beer at each pub, you added a stroke to your card. Sand Trap was added to the RG with a compulsory black beer. Now that is hitting some hard spots. That's hitting some hard spots. Wow. Easy game if you can just scull the first one and chalk up a hole in one, right? So sculling schooners is one thing I'm known for, but nonetheless, I do love pulling out the driver and giving it a mighty big whack. So don't ask me the score, but he can barely. This is his Bucks party by you.
Yeah.
Don't ask me the score, but I can barely remember the last establishment. But from all reports, I was on fire and had a fairly good time. One thing I do remember is waking up on the front doorstep in the early hours and wondering how I got there and what I'd done. From all reports, over the last 10 years of being reminded of it, I tried to wake up the wife by banging on her window, which just happens to also be the largest window in the house. Also, the most brittle. So you can imagine what happens next. So apparently his wife had actually gone into another room and slept in another room, right? Because she didn't want him to wake her up when he got home. But he'd forgotten that because he was 20 pints to the wind.
Oh, shit.
So he's been banging on this window. No one's inside there. And he's probably half naked, to be fair. He's probably half naked. There's probably vomit everywhere. And he's banging on this window, bangs, and the whole thing comes crashing down top to bottom. Could you imagine the wife going, all right, well, soon to be wife, right? Because it was a Bucks night, was it not? Yeah.
Yeah. So it
was
is
his Buck show. So he's not wife yet.
This is literally a cracking story.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
So he bashed the window in and the whole thing shattered. And I can only think of, if you're cracking a big window like that, glass cuts you to pieces.
Yep, definitely.
He's probably lucky to still be here with us. So apparently the bill for the window was quite large, and he has been reminded of it and forever hanging over his head. Cheers, Gilly. So he also adds this, though. P.S. Did I see Scotty at the Real Shark Park a few weekends ago for Grand Finals? Thought I'd seen him as I drove in, but he couldn't find him in all the fanfare. If not, there must be a doppelganger around Maitland.
He 100% did. 100%.
You were there?
I was there. Went over and watched the Nephews Grand Final, played for Gresford, which they took out 1-0.
Shit.
Yeah. So I was. God, is this... I'm taking that now as we might be getting a bit too famous for this, Ego.
No, absolutely not. All right. How are you going with your tip? How was your tip of the week?
No, like always, no good. We had Warbrick, Hughes, and Stags. No,
all
Coates,
for try scorers.
Coates, all for any time.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got Hughes and Warbrick, but remember, we only put 700 on it. Because,
that's right.
Yeah, because it took us to a flat 4 lost now. With no NRL, it's a bit tough. So I've actually gone out of my comfort zone. We are getting on the NFL.
I was hoping you'd say we're betting on the wild ferrets in Portugal.
We're venturing into the NFL, and we've gone Chiefs to win, Eagles to win, Broncos to win, Chargers to win. We're going to put 1,000 on it, and it's returning 3,500.
Okay, how much are we down now?
We're 4 down, but 5 when you add that 1,000 I've just put on.
All right, 5,000. Yeah. So we're still not going to be back in front, but we're going to be close when
definitely.
You get this 4-team win. And you know how much about the NFL right now?
Minimal, But
Yeah. Good bet then.
Yeah. Hey, who knows? They're the ones that you sometimes win.
Yes.
So
They're
let's see how
generally
we
the
go.
ones you always lose. Okay.
Before we wrap it up, I did receive a message midweek from one of our listeners, Nev, asking about merch. Remember, I think we touched on it, but it wasn't on the pod. We've got merch being worked on behind the scenes.
Yes.
I was tasked with it and couldn't wrap my head around it at all.
Can we give a big shout out to Tess, your mum?
Yep.
Has paid for this merch.
Yep.
This podcast makes us negative dollars.
Yes.
We do this because I don't know why we do this, to be fair.
Yes, exactly.
But your mum has gone out and made this merch. She's got bucket hats, caps, stickers,
and stubby holders.
Yeah.
Stubby
huge.
holders, yep. So yeah,
Thank you, Tess.
when that comes in, we'll kind of sit down, work on it, and hey, might even get a model. One of our listeners in to model the hats and the stubby holders, and we might get them on our socials just to show them off.
100%. If you'd like to be a model, should we stipulate that you have to have clothes on? Because I think Jimmy will want to come in naked.
To say that, I was 100% about to say that. You must wear clothes. Yes, Jimmy, we're talking to you.
If you'd like to be our model, or if you've got any questions, any stories you have, or anything that you'd like us to discuss in the podcast, we're really encouraging you to send in an email. We love reading out the emails in our comment club every week. talkingsportreport@gmail.com. Shoot us any feedback, good or positive. We'll happily read it out on the pod, even if you're having a dead set crack at one of us. Of course, you can also get on the comment club by leaving a message, dropping us a like, and checking out our social videos. So check out @talkingsportreport on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Until next week, Scotty, we're going to be without rugby league next week, but there's so much happening. Formula One's getting really, really hot right now.
Yep.
Piastri's up against it. They're all coming for his title. We've got the cricket. We've got Cummins is like all over the shop. We've got Marnus Labuschagne scoring hundreds. Surely there's some cricket news we can really sink our teeth into as we get close to the Ashes next week.
It's all happening. It is all happening. So stick with us. Even without rugby league, we will still be here. Sorry.
It's the beauty of being the Talking Sport Report. We haven't got to just focus on one. It's great. We can go all year round.
Bingo.
Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you, mate. Absolute pleasure.
Peace. Love, Dove. Bye.